Well, Rush Limbaugh weighed in on the Haiti, the Haiti events, and of course, as always, he stirred a little controversy. Take a listen.
Yes, I think in the Haiti earthquake, ladies and gentlemen, in the words of Rahm Emanuel, we have another crisis simply too good to waste. This will play right into Obama's hands. Humanitarian, compassionate. They'll use this to burnish their, shall we say, credibility with the black community in both light-skinned and dark-skinned black community in this country.
Rush Limbaugh channeling Harry Reid, I suppose.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
get
that is truly unbelievable.
Right.
Only
no,
Rush.
he pulls it off, though. It's amazing.
Jonathan Martin from Politico.com
hey guys.
Joins us. Let's start with the way that the president is handling this. It was 2 days in a row we've seen him go out to the cameras, and very clear that he is involved intricately in coordinating the federal response.
He's not going to have a Katrina moment, even though this is obviously
not even on our soil.
Not happening on American soil. I think he wants to be seen as involved, as in leading this crisis. As you guys know, the politics of Haiti have long frustrated a lot of folks in this country that think that Cuban Americans get more attention and are more politically powerful than Haitian Americans. And I think that undercurrent is relevant here in the sense that this president, this administration are saying, we're going to step in here, we're going to be involved. This crisis happened in Haiti, and we're going to really sort of try and take charge here.
The Cuban-American, I guess, relationship to our politics is underscored through a decades-long Cold War that was probably, I guess.
But it's a sort of long-standing complaint, though, of Haitian Americans in Florida about Cubans having more power politically in the country, right?
No doubt about it. I think the first potential Haitian American may be running for Congress. That would be elected to Congress.
Right, exactly.
J. Mart, I want to turn to healthcare if I can, because as the president's been out there for the last couple of days on Haiti, he keeps running back to the cabinet room or other rooms in the White House where both the House and Senate Democratic leadership are gathered to hammer out this final deal. We're now getting word that they want this to get to CBO for scoring by Saturday at the latest. This sounds like we're on the verge of a deal.
It does, and it actually reminds me of one of the sort of most memorable campaign lines after the financial crisis. President Obama took to the cameras after he got word that McCain was heading back to Washington and said, when you're president, you have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Well, he's walking and chewing gum right now at the same time, dealing with Haiti, dealing with this health care challenge. It does look, in fact, like they're going to get a deal. And I don't think it's because of Scott Brown's candidacy, but I think it sounds like they actually are now closer to an agreement. And if CBO has the kind of numbers that they're looking for over the weekend, maybe even as early as next week.
Which is incredible, too. I mean, maybe it helps that no one's watching them chew this particular stick of gum, because healthcare has been very tough whenever there's a 24-hour media maelstrom around it.
Right. Can you imagine if the cameras were, in fact, in those rooms with the sort of angst between the House and the Senate? I mean, it would be extraordinary, right?
No doubt.
It'd be a dream for us, right?
It would be wonderful for us. They certainly wouldn't get a health care deal
anytime soon.
Right. And let's stipulate if the cameras were there, all the angst would be transferred somewhere else.
And they'd have to have second meetings, exactly.
That's right. They'd have the real meetings.
Phone meeting, and they would have a second real meeting, exactly.
Okay, you basically just blew a hole in our whole career here, though, because now apparently we only cover faux things, and all the real action happens elsewhere. Let me turn your attention to the 2010 midterms for a moment, because both sides are sort of laying out their strategies early on here, trying to sort of set how they're going to move forward here. It's interesting to me, David Axelrod puts out this idea that it's not going to be a referendum. 3 months ago, he specifically, or 2 months ago, when New Jersey and Virginia happened, he said specifically, 2010, that's a national election. That will be a referendum on this White House. That seems to be two different Democratic messages we're getting from the same person.
I think the intervening months were pretty bad, weren't they? I mean,
between November and January?
What happened? Well, I mean, the president's numbers haven't gotten better, I mean, that's for sure. So, they're going to look for a way to try and win these races, I think, and maybe there's recognition that putting Obama on the ballot, in some places at least, is not going to be the most effective strategy.
He certainly sounds a lot.
Well, and I do remember the Republicans saying very explicitly to me in 2006, don't worry about it. This is going to be a choice and not a referendum. All politics is local. All politics is local. It's hard to do that if you're the party in power.
There was the math, of course, in 06. Remember the math? Yeah, exactly.
I do remember the math. Some memories, vague memories at least, of the math. Jonathan Martin from Politico.com.
Thanks
guys.
For being Appreciate
here.
it.
Thank you, sir, for being here. That does it for this edition of Top Line. Be sure to click us on again tomorrow.
And it's twitter.com/thenote. And I really wanted to talk about Harold Ford, because you got a couple of great pieces up about Harold Ford.
Pagey Mr. Wiener.
So
wow.
Wow. My God.